Hello, Jessica Ites. This is going to be your card of the month for August 2021. And the card that I have pulled, I got a new desk, so hang on one second, is the Seven of Cups, which is quite an interesting card. In fact, I was doing a little bit of research on it and found out some things that I didn't know about the card. So let me turn the camera around. Don't look at my office. I've got stuff sitting all around. I'm redoing my office. So just, okay. So, so here's what we have. I feel that this card is representative of the seasonal change that is about to occur. The seasons change between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. It's a 6-month difference. So right now, here in the northern hemisphere, we're in the time of summer, and they're in winter in the southern hemisphere. So this is going to be changing, and August is going to be kind of like our tipping point. It is particularly here, it is the last quote-unquote summer month before we move into the fall. And so this will be, you guys will be moving from winter into spring in the southern hemisphere. Now, what I find to be interesting about this card is this idea of what these cups represent. The first thing we need to understand is that there is a quality of time that exists. Time can be fast, it can be slow, it can be tense, it can be relaxed. But there's this quality of time that we are all experiencing. And what I mean when I say all is that every living thing from plant to person is under the same astrological influence, okay? This card typically represents the energy of Venus and Scorpio, and that's kind of an all or nothing kind of an energy. But each of these cups in this card are related to a major arcana card. And what we have here is we have the snake, which is related to the magician. You think about the snake around his waist, and the planet Mercury. So this is about our ego and our will and our manifestation and creativity, creative abilities, but it can also represent temptation. The shrouded figure is the high priestess related to the moon. So this could be our intuition and our fears. Here we find the head of Venus and the Empress. So this is about right relationships, but could also be about self-actualization, right? Fairness and justice and equality. We have over here the dragon, which represents the sun itself. So think of the fiery breath of the dragon. But this could also be about power. Do I have power? If so, am I using it the right way? Or is someone wielding their power against me? Is it for good or is it for evil? Then we have the wreath, which represents the world card and the planet Saturn. So this is about attainment and success. But if you'll notice, this card has a skull on it, right? And so this is the idea that the chasing of success or the can be illusory, but it can also be deceptive. It can have us do things that we normally wouldn't do, or people do things that they normally wouldn't do, right? Then we have the jewels, which represent the Wheel of Fortune and Jupiter. So this is about fate and destiny and fame and fortune. And then finally we have here this tower, this castle, which is representative of the tower, which brings the energy of both Uranus and Mars. This idea that it speaks about stability and security. Now we find this figure in the front of the card in kind of a relief. He is dark opposed. He's looking at all of these cups in the sky. So this is the idea about trying to figure out what do we want, right? Or what is the most important thing? This card says that absolutely you can have all of the things that you want, but you have to first figure out what is the most important thing. Now, as we're moving through the seasons here, right now here in the northern hemisphere, there's lots of rain, there's lots of drought and fire, prices have gone up, crops are failing. migrant workers can't work, so this is affecting our bottom line in terms of the things that we purchase. So food prices, anything that has cotton in it is going up. Um, this may, I don't know if you remember the fires, was it last year down in Australia? So this is about the idea that what is the most important thing? The most important thing is to make sure that we have a planet to live on, right? But in the midst of all of these natural occurrences, we've got a pandemic, we've got strange weather patterns. But yet here we are. People are trying to travel. People are have to send their kids back to school. The workforce is coming back. In other parts of the world, some people are still under lockdown. In some countries, there have been no vaccinations whatsoever. So this is why you see that hullabaloo that's happening down in Cuba. They have no food, they've got no medicine, and nobody's had shots. Then we're looking at foolishness like what's happening in Haiti, and then Taliban is taking over again in Afghanistan. And so there are these pockets and these skirmishes of people who are their illusions are falling away, if that makes any sense. So on a personal level, what this means for you on a personal level for the month of August, as the season is about to change, we're on the precipice. The month of August is going to be pivotal because things will be changing, and we're going to have to figure out what is the most important thing. There is disinformation out there. People are saying that they're putting, what do you call it, microchips in the vaccine, but yet they don't want to wear masks when they get on planes. Some companies here in America are determining that if you don't get a vaccine, you can't work. So things will be changing. Now, what does this mean? How does that affect me? Whatever happens on the other side of the world will eventually affect you personally. It will hit you in your purse, whether you're paying higher prices for food, for property. What does it mean for finances? Do we stick with paper and coin currency, or do we all move to the cryptocurrency? There are lots of moving parts to this. And so the key is to be mindful of what it is that you're thinking about. For me, I think the most important cup at this moment while I'm speaking to you is this cup that represents Mercury and the magician. As above, so below. So do be imaginative, do fantasize, do think about these things, because it is through through the idea of imagination and fantasy that great things have happened. We saw Richard Branson the other day touch the edge of space, right? But at the same time, we need to stay grounded and be extremely mindful about what it is that we are imagining, what it is that we're fantasizing about. Because the truth of the matter is that none of these things are sustainable. This is all illusory. And this is how you can be up on high one minute and then down low the next. It's that mercurial quality that we're dealing with right now. Mercury is the trickster. He can make things happen. He can cause things to happen. He can bring things, and then he can reverse it and take it all away. And so I feel that for many of you, and let me rephrase that. For those of you who are still very fearful or very worried about what happens under this change of season, when things seem to shift and move, what do I do? And so what you should do is focus on peace of mind and self-care. Meditate, exercise, reach out to other people when you feel like you're you don't know what's happening. Because the truth is, we don't know what's happening. There will be elections that are coming up around the world in different countries. So we're going to have people who are making decisions that will affect us. Additionally, we've got Mother Nature, who's against us all the way, right? She's trying to kill us with the pandemic and the rain and the fire if that doesn't get us, So, so these are the things that, we need to be mindful of. And you can move through this. Is this a nightmare, or is this just simply life in general? It is up to you to decide. So this is about starting here with your ego and your will. And from that, your ego and will, are you using all of your resources? Are you directing and focusing your energies where they need to be so that you can move to the next thing, right? Some of you, your intuition, utilize your intuition and don't allow your fear to dictate your move or your non-movement. We are all under the same influence. You are not alone in this. And so this is the month of August. For the month of August, remember, you absolutely can positively have everything that you desire, but you have to remember what is the most important thing first. Start there, and then you can make your way through this. That's what I have for you. I hope this message helps. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and namaste.